If the Niners could get Brady or Rodgers for Trey Lance, should they?
First of all, let me say, if they were to get either of those guys and they're going to do it mid-season, it's not going to be for Jimmy Garoppolo. It's going to cost them Trey Lance. That's my belief. But so, okay, let's look at this for a second. Is it even possible? I mean, the likelihood of either of these happening is probably pretty low. However, when you look at what's about to happen to Tampa, they're going to play the Ravens tomorrow. That's a good chance they're 3-5 after that. The Packers are getting ready to play the Buffalo Bills. Good chance they're 3-5 after that. And the 49ers are playing a team that is always a get-right team for them. They're 4-4 and headed into a bye week. Trade deadline is then 2 days after that game. If a team were to say, hey, well, Rodgers told us he's going to retire at the end of the year and Brady is not with us next year and possibly could retire, we're not going to win a Super Bowl with these guys, but we do like a young player that you have sitting over there in San Francisco. Why don't you send him over to us? He's injured anyways. We'll groom him. We'll worry about that. You guys are ready to win now. You just went all in with Christian McCaffrey. Why not get you the quarterback that can do it as well? I think there might be a small possibility of one of these things happening. But that being said, I can't. Not unless either of those guys were to guarantee me that they would play at least through next year. That would have to be a part of it because they don't have a first-round pick. If let's say they trade for one of them and then they don't win a Super Bowl this year and then they retire, they don't have a first-round pick next year and they don't have a quarterback. What the hell are you going to do? What are you going to do? So
I agree.
You would have to get that guarantee.
I would not trade Trey Lance, but I think the Niners would. I almost get the feeling that Kyle's out on Trey Lance. And I hate to say that because I'm not. I like Trey Lance, and I wish he had a coach that felt the same way. But you just look, step back for a second. When Kyle kept Jimmy Garoppolo on the team, when Kyle used Trey Lance the way he used him the first 5 quarters of the season, that to me was a coach that didn't want to coach that quarterback. And it's crazy because Kyle staked his reputation on him and traded up for him. But Kyle's the kind of guy who gives up on rookies immediately. He doesn't give rookies a chance. He makes up his mind immediately, and I kind of get the feeling he made up his mind on Trey, and it's really too bad. That's why I feel like they're not going to trade Trey. But I actually, let me take that back. They might trade Trey. This is a good topic because let's say they don't get Tom Brady, and Tom Brady just retires because he could. He's like 70. He could retire. What's your option if you don't get Tom Brady? Aaron Rodgers, good luck. You going to sign Matt Ryan? He just got benched for Sam Ehlinger. It might be the best option for Kyle is trading for Kirk Cousins. Now, Kirk Cousins could win the Super Bowl this year. But let's say they go 13-4 and win their division and lose in the first round of the playoffs like they always freaking do. All of a sudden, Minnesota might want to do something and not pay Kirk Cousins $50 million a year to lose in the first round. They might want to get out of that contract, trade into the Niners for Trey Lance. I don't know if the Niners can afford Kirk Cousins, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They got a lot of money tied up and a lot of players who aren't quarterbacks. That's how I feel like Kyle's thinking right now. I can't imagine that he's thinking, unless Jed York's like, dude, you have a job for life. In which case, yeah, Trey, you'll be my starter and we might lose next year. I just feel like there's some urgency from the roster construction to Kyle's timeline that kind of, I don't know. I can't get over how he used Trey this year. That was not a quarterback who was a coach who was enthusiastic about his quarterback. It was a damn shame is what it was.
It was definitely that. I don't know if he's out on Trey. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but
I don't know that either. I just got that vibe.
Yeah, their timelines don't seem to match up. Assuming that Jed York is telling them, "Hey, I'm kind of can we
do
get
something.
back winning seasons? We
please
need to win the Super Bowl. Can we do that?"
Yeah,
their timelines don't match up. It's interesting.
I don't think so. Yeah, so I'm with you on that. Take a couple questions. Moody says, even when they overpay, they restructure the next year. Jimmy restructure was brilliant. Kittle restructured too. Kyle would do the same for CMC and others. Did you think the Kittle restructure was brilliant? I mean, if you do that, you keep locking yourself into players who are older for longer. And what I'm saying about Bosa, what I'm trying to come back to is I feel like the NFL, it's crazy. Players get bigger, faster, stronger. Medical technology gets better and better. I feel like careers are getting shorter. Bigger, faster, stronger leads to higher impact collisions, and this crap artificial turf that they have out there, I just don't feel and they're not really properly trained. There's very little practice time. I wouldn't really bank on players playing into their 30s like Jerry Rice and Tim Brown did. I think you want to get what you can by 26, 27 and move on. That's what Bill Belichick seems to do. But maybe I'm cynical. I don't know.
Yeah, I think probably the human body can only take so much, and when it gets too big and bulky in certain areas, it's not good on those ligaments and joints. Don't get bigger and stronger.
They don't. Ivan says micromanage Shanahan, get great results, give him full reins, then shit the bed. This is why they micromanage players, I guess. Thank you, Ivan. Uchenna says should have never let DJ Jones go to Denver. We pick Kinlaw over a better DT. Stupid move. That's the one. They could have traded Armstead and Buckner and kept DJ Jones. DJ Jones is affordable. So easy to keep around. But they kept Armstead, who is giving them nothing this year. If Armstead could come back this year, that would be great. Armstead.
I'll say this, though.
Dude.
Armstead, him being out, for anybody that didn't believe on what he meant to this team, I think you know now. Because when you look at the first half of last year when he was outside, once they moved him in, one game later, they fixed the run defense. He leaves. They were good on run defense for one game, and since then it's been trash. He's really, really important to that run defense.
He's a good run defender. Now, the problem is if you weren't giving him $20 million a year, you could have a bunch of run defenders. Right now, their interior rushers are a bunch of guys who were supposed to play 15 snaps a game, and now they're playing 60, and it's like, we're not really built to do that. So Armstead, if you could come back and do your thing, that would be great. Do you think Kyle ran Trey hoping he'd get injured so he could get Garoppolo and possibly get rid of Lance next year, avoiding to train him? I don't know. But I understand why you'd ask that question. I don't know. You think I know the answer to that? If I did, I would write a book about it and get paid $1 million. So I
just think he doesn't know how to develop quarterbacks. I'm sorry. I haven't seen it happen. So why would I think that he all of a sudden has figured it out?
Dave Barclay says this Rams game is no guarantee. It's a hope. Yeah, we're going to talk about that next. Do you see Jimmy's wobble on Sunday? Yeah, man, that's a daily occurrence for Jimmy. Kevin Spencer says, did Kyle throw away a bunch of picks trying to build a super team with an inability to use said team, or did he build a super team for someone else to come in and take over? What do you think the front office will do? I think it's very interesting. What he's done is put himself on the chopping block. No more excuses. Now, you could say Jimmy's the limiting factor, but they've had success with Jimmy. Kyle's found ways around Jimmy before, and you have all these new weapons. If they can't crack 20 points a game, if they can't make the playoffs, your mind's naturally going to go there. Like, can someone else? Can we give Christian McCaffrey and Debo and Ayuk and Kittle to someone else, and maybe they'll score 30? Maybe? Sean Payton? Anyone want the team? I don't know. Maybe Jay will get a private phone call.
If you have a healthy CMC last year, chances are you beat the Rams and you go win a Super Bowl. But last year's problems are not this year's problems. They're different every season.
And he wasn't healthy last year. J. Mark Garza says, Niners lorded Montana and Young over the NFC West. Why does Kyle always want to do it the hard way with the worst QB in the division every year? Dumb. I don't know.
He is the worst quarterback in the division, isn't he?
Oh, relentlessly. And then he drafts guys like Brock Purdy. You want athletes. One thing about Bill Walsh, always wanted an athlete at the quarterback position. Good feet. Kyle's like, I just want the worst athlete possible. CJ Beathard?
Yeah, he doesn't.
Nick Mullins?
That was the hope for Trey, though.
And I think it's because Kyle wants to be a quarterback. Kyle wants to be a quarterback, and Kyle's not an athlete. So he's like, I don't care. You don't have to be an athlete to play quarterback. Yes, you do. I'm sorry, unless you're Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. Kyle is the issue here, point blank. He should be fired if he can't make a solid playoff run. As a fan of the game, it's insulting to watch this play. I think he should be forced to make a solid playoff run. Why can't you? Why not? Oh, because you don't have the quarterback? Well, it's year 6. Why is he on the team? You could have had Gino or Andy or anyone. That's your fault. You can't. Look, if this was year 3 and he'd be like, I inherited this, fine. This is not that situation anymore.
Yeah.
But they won't fire him. We all know Jed doesn't have the courage. Jed needs to pull up to practice. Huff looks so good. Man, Jed's
dad needs to come to practice, not Jed.
Thank you.